Hey guys, welcome to another week. I hope you guys had a very amazing weekend. So yeah, this last week we had some trades, in the works. We hit some TPs, and it's made a lot of sense. And yeah, I think the last trade we got into last week before the close of the market was the Usdcad, and it has really moved on incredibly. Over time. And so what we're going to be doing is still, check through on it, see what is happening, see what is going on, and let us like project what we expect for the new week on this beautiful pair. So, but before we get into that, I'd like to take you guys back to how we got in the first place. What was the reason why we got in the first place? So, that being said, let's get straight. So this was the setup that we had last week, like just right on Friday, I guess, or Thursday, right? Just right before the market closed. So we had the setup. And looking at the setup, we actually said if we could, that was the resistance area, the diagonal support turning into resistance. That's like a trend line traders call it the break and retest. And, we have an horizontal resistance area characterized by the bigger, blue zones and, the other light green zone, right? So we said if we could find a rejection right there, then we could be selling this bet to the downside, right? And we said we're going to be waiting for a lower time frame entry confirmation, which in the next image right here, we actually, explain what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the structural break and the trend line break, right? Which price did exactly as we wanted. Price did exactly as we wanted. So yeah, let's get back into it. So now prices moved since that point. We're so far in about 87 pips, and prices just right at that point, right where we're saying we just need a few more, about 45 pips more, to hit a TP, which we're looking for to hit a TP. Right now the market is on break even, stop loss placed behind the last lower high, and all of that. So this week, what are we looking at, right? Are we looking to just eat the TP alone, right? For people who couldn't get in on the webinar, who couldn't catch the live analysis, right? We're looking at the TP zones alone, right? No, we're not looking at the TP zones alone. Then we see a further probable opportunities confirmation into the market that could even give us bigger profit even after we've taken our a TP, taken our profit, and we could actually sense that price could be giving off more opening for more entry opportunities to just riding on an established trend. So getting into it, we won't just explain literally right with the 4 hour time frame. We need to get back to the monthly time frame, get to the weekly time frame. Let's see how the weekly candle close, because every information means a lot to us in this market. Remember, we react to whatever the market says, we don't assume. So in order for you to react, you need to see what is happening. So you react to what you see and not what you feel. So let's get straight to the monthly time frame, right? So real quick, let's take a step back. Let's see what happened, right? On the monthly time frame, as we all said, right, prices trend to the downside. You're gonna see the prices been on the downtrend since about 2020, and prices broken this last zone. And we said that we expected price, to move down to this next key zone. So right after the break of if you zoom in properly, you're going to see that right after the break of this zone right here, you can see that prices actually made an exhaustion right here, and you can see the next phase push to the downside, right? So this is making a lot of sense to us. So what do? Let's go to the weekly time frame to see what has happened. So on the weekly time frame, what we simply did was amplify the all scenarios and the whole situation that happened right after the break, right? So identifying that, let's zoom out prices and let's see what prices is done, right? So identifying that, what do we see right here? We actually saw right here, the after price made that break to the downside, right? Price has been moving on a low, you can see the lower highs, right? The lows, the lower highs, and trading in different zones, consecutively, right? So it's like forming a lower lows and lower high pattern within different zones, right? So we have this last lower zones, lower lows and lower highs right here before the price broke this key level. And after price broke this key level, we have the exhaustion. And we said if this exhaustion is going to hold and the resistance is going to hold, previous area of what? Support right here turning into a resistance right on this level. We can say the support turning into resistance. Then we could be having a situation where price could be moving to the downside, furthermore to the downside, right? So the idea is that we want to take opportunities of when the trend is established and, take a TP as a periodic, point. And, want to take a TP, we wait for the next phase of the push again, then, we could keep in riding on. So what we've done is like we've identified the fact the price is still pointing to the downside, and all we got to do on the smaller time frame is actually to elaborate things, better and, see when price is gonna, eat specific TPs at the same time to secure profit and, just find re-entries and keep repeating the process until the trend is done. So now let's get to the daily time. So on the daily time frame, what do we see right here? What did happen last week, right? What did happen last week was the fact the price actually got to this key level and found the resistance right on this key level, right? Diagonal resistance by the reasons of the trend line and horizontal resistance, right? Get into the market, right? So what do we have right here? We saw the price. We said price most likely we're going to be staying to react to our price reject or behaves right around this level. So what do we see? We saw the first page of push to the downside, right? From the first page of push to the downside, actually we had a trade right here, if you guys remember, about I think earlier last week, we got out of this trade. It went as much as about 94 pips, and we got out about 56 pips on break even. The market hit us out when it was reversing to retest again a certain time, and we said now we took a profit and we could be finding an opportunity to ride this to the downside again. So far so good. We're in about 80 plus pips, right? So let's make sense with what had happened. So what had happened is the fact that the resistance, we have a double resistance right here. We have the first diagonal resistance by reasons of the trend line. In case y'all don't know, trend line can also act as a diagonal support or resistance, right? And we have the horizontal support and resistance right here. So what did the price do? It gave us the first rejection, gave us the double rejection. Now, the moment we saw this double rejection, right, we already know that something may be happening right here. And you see how the Thursday and Friday candlestick went bearish, right? So apart from that, what really caused the price rejection, the all of a sudden price rejection right on this level, apart from the fact that we're looking at it from the technical point of view, actually we have the fundamental support as well, right? The fundamental support, I think we expect the fact that subsequent weeks the card is gonna be stronger. The card is gonna be stronger for I think this past week the Canadian dollar's been so like fluctuating, not directly by the effect of the crude oil and all of that, but by the effect of the COVID and the economy. I think the Canadian economy is still one of the economies trying to recover from the COVID, lockdown, all of that, right? And things seem to be, there's more optimism in the fact that things are going to get opened up, and we expect actually that things should get, we expect actually that things should get, really better for the next couple of weeks coming. You understand what I mean? So that being said, so let's get back into it. So that being said, let's go back to the 4 hours time frame, right? So on the 4 hours time frame, we had already added our 4 hour zones as well, right? So what do we have on our 4 hour zone? We have the upper zone, we have the mid-range zone, and we have the lower zone, right? So everything is pointing down to the downward direction, right? And the reasons for our entry is the fact that we brought out this, trend line from the downside, touch 1, touch 2. You can see the first rejection right on this level. You can see the first rejection right on this level. Then you can see the second rejection right on this level, right? Which was the actual rejection. So what we did simply was we went to the 1 hour time frame to wait for what price is done, right? To wait for, price entry confirmation when we see a change of structure right from this level right here to this level, and which we definitely saw before we, get in on our entry. So let's take it roughly back to the 1 hour time frame. So the 1 hour time frame, what was the reason for our entry, right? The moment price started to price to the upside, right, we brought out our trend line. we brought our trend line right on this level, and the moment we brought our trend line on this level, we marked the structure. We consider the lows, and this was the last low right here. And we said if price should break this last low right here, which is right here, that means that's also a break of the trend line, right? So we have a break of double support right here, and if we could see a close right here, then we can get into the market, right? We go into the market, and the market move as much as 41 pips, only for it to reverse back against us at 16 pips, and later by the end of the week, we move back to about let's say after the retest, we move back to about 71 pips, right on 66 pips. But people who got in a little bit more aggressively when they saw this first lower high, got in about 80, I think 83, 84 pips, right? So but that's not the point this week. The point this week is now we want to project. Okay, we want to project. So after for people who couldn't get on this ride, right, it's still a very good trade, because one thing we've done is by the reasons of multi-time frame analysis, we've been able to make sense of the fact that the price is going on a downtrend. Okay, we've established that already. So once you know what something is going, all you got to do is to wait to catch the next trend. So right, if we couldn't catch this trend, I think there's always room for the next trend, right? So price is moving to the downside, so we expect price to come to eat us out on TP. So what is our area of focus this week? Our area of focus this week is definitely going to be right on this level. And what are we looking at right on this level? It's pretty much simple. We want to see the behavior of prices right on this level, because the behavior of prices right on this level could actually tell us an information as regards to what price is going to do next. So 2-case scenario, right? We expect if price is going to reject here, we could be having a move to the upside. If price is going to break this level, then we could be having a further push to the downside, which I'm anticipating more of the downside. But like we always said, always have the reactive mindset, the reactive mentality, right? The reactive psychology in such a way that when you see what the market has done, right, wait to react to what you see, right? Allow the market to establish that before you get into the market, right? Don't predict before the market. Don't assume, oh, this looks like a double top and stuff like that, and get into the market. So this is the area of, this is our area of confirmation this week. So we could have either price rejected to the upside, price breaking in directly to the downside, or price giving us a mini reject to the upside and coming back to break this to the downside. We don't know, whichever way price does want to hold on. So now for this week projection, what are we looking at? We're looking at taking out our TP, right? But the moment that we see that price breaks this to the downside, right, are we just going to enter? No, we're not just going to enter. We want to see some kind of exhaustion, because it takes a lot of strength for price to break this level. And after that strength, there's going to be exhaustion. Then upon the next phase of, injection into the market, then, this could actually present us with a trade of about 100 pips, right? So if price is going to do that, if price is going to do exactly this, based on what we expect, that means price may be following the double top chart pattern, right? The idea is to use whatever confirmation, right, your element of analysis to further confirms and bring confidence more to what you're trading, right? You can see the first top, you can see the second top. We could call it the double exhaustion as well. The second top happened right about the break of the diagonal support, which is the trend line support, the break, coming back to retest this level. So if price should give us this, definitely we're going to be looking out for. After the break, we wait for an exhaustion, then we join the next phase of push, right? If price should give us the buy, right, we want to see a situation. So let me take this up real quick. For the sell, right? So if price should give us in a case of buy case scenario, and price want to give us a buy first, right? We're not just going to confirm this is going to be a buy. So we wait for a lower time frame confirmation and wait for change of structure. If price is going to go on the buy, then definitely we'll know. But then we're going to be looking right at this key level, right? Because price could eat this level and now come down for the break. So we're expecting this 2-case scenario, right? So the only time we're going to deem this fit, for a upward trade is when we see the break above this level, right? Because we know that the previous support, which is the support right on this level, has been tested, then has been broken, then it could come back to be tested, and we can have a support, a push it upside. So if we're gonna have a push it upside, we're gonna be having about 100 plus pips. If we're gonna be having to push it downside, we're waiting for the break of this key level. You can see this key level is a very strong level. Put on the line chart, right? You can see support, you can see resistance, you can see price coming. So it is it's giving us this is a very key value area, right? Because price is actually reacted on this level for for more than once, twice, 3, 4 times, right? So we're waiting for the break of this level. So if we can find a break of this level, definitely we're looking forward to about 100 pips, trade. If we can find a break of this level, we're gonna be looking out for a hop the push it upside. So definitely what's going to be my most probable move for this week, it's going to be something like this, right? But then, like I said, what I got to do first is to wait to see how the market is going to react when price gets to this level. Like I said, this is going to be our key determinant zone that's going to determine our trade on this pair for this week, right? So whatever price does on this week, definitely is going to be the reason why we're going to get into the market. So I hope this makes sense to you guys, and you guys see the reality of waiting, right? Waiting to react, waiting for the market to manifest, then you can react as regards to how the market manifesting, and that's a lot of it. So thank you guys so much. If you really enjoyed this video, you could subscribe to our YouTube at No Bad Trade Forex. You could check us out on Instagram at No Bad Trades, and you can join us on Telegram. Just click at No Bad Trades on Telegram, and you can get our free channel where we drop free content, every week. And it's about to get, leaked this the 7th quarter, and we're in the business of doing the numbers game, right? Thank you guys so much, and you guys have a very beautiful and amazing week ahead.